Hey everybody, welcome to We Run on Reruns. I'm Amanda and I'm here with my brother Eric.
Hope you guys are all having a great week so far. We are getting into the end of season 5 here with Friends, where we are now going to be looking at episodes 17, 18, 19, 20. This week we'll have them, as always, broken into 2 different ones. So today, for this episode, we're going to talk about episodes 17 and 18. You know what? I have to start by saying, I don't know if you saw this, but apparently this has happened before, but now it's international, and I had no idea. But McDonald's is now offering Happy Meals that they're calling like adult Happy Meals, and they come with Friends characters in them. Have you seen this?
Well, I feel like the bigger Happy Meals have been a thing for a little while now. Am I mistaken? I feel like that's been a thing.
Maybe.
Where you can get like more stuff. I don't know for sure. That just rings the bell, like Big Kid Meal or I.
Yes,
but either way,
that's different.
Oh.
Okay. That's been around for a little bit now. Where they do like the Happy Meals and then like the slightly bigger ones. And at Christmas this year, they did like these Grinch boxes. Yeah, believe me, my kids are well aware of all of the McDonald's Happy Meals and what is evolved in all of them. But
Friends being featured.
Yes.
No.
Well, apparently because it was the 30th anniversary when they started doing this, and I looked because I was immediately like, well, how do I get this? And the answer is I don't, because it's not in this country. But hopefully it will come here someday, and we'll be able to get them. But they come with little figures, so it's got like Monica in a chef's hat. And it's got Ross with Marcel, and Joey and Chandler each holding a chicken and a duck, and Phoebe's got her guitar, and Rachel is holding a mug that says Central Perk on it. And I'm like, oh man. And they look like little standard figurines.
Yeah, I'm looking at this now. Adult Happy Meals, various countries like Spain and Turkey to celebrate the show's 30th anniversary. It came
across my
Marcel.
Instagram this week, and I was like, what? How does one get this? But apparently, being here in the United States, we don't get this. Maybe someday.
Well, I mean, this is now reminding me of this YouTube video I actually saw earlier in the week of this guy that just travels around and visits restaurants and just eats food in all different countries and locations. But he also likes to try fast food in all different countries just to see how it is, it's different, especially from what we see here in the United States. And he was in Italy eating McDonald's, and this is not Friends related at all, but McDonald's related. And the things that he was eating, I mean, the burger looked like a legit, like, huge burger with real beef. I mean, I'm sure what we get here is kind of beef, but
listen, you don't have to sugarcoat it.
This was on another level.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched enough international YouTubers in my day, whether they're from England or from Australia or wherever, and the food is notably different, even in foods where you think it's the same food, like McDonald's is the same food everywhere. It's not.
No.
It's the same food in our country, but it's not the same food from McDonald's in the United States to McDonald's in Italy or Spain or wherever.
I just think the whole concept of fast food is truly only fast here. I think other countries, their culture is just to sit, enjoy a meal, maybe take a beat, and not be like, racing off to work or like walking while eating or just like constantly going. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe that's part of it, is there's a little bit maybe more quality involved in the food that's given in fast food menus than
takeout industry. Takeout industry is big. People want to stay at home. People don't want to go out as much anymore. And that's kind of how it shakes out. So it is what it is.
Well,
we move forward.
But no, that's really cool though. Did that pop up on like social media or
Yeah, it
something?
popped up
Just
on
like
one
that?
of my social media feeds
Okay.
this week, and I was like, oh, I have to bring this up. Like, this is important.
They kind of remind me of those, like, the Funko Pop characters a little bit, but
we have
really adorable and tiny. Yeah.
We have some Christmas ornaments that look like that style. Like, they're much smaller. They're only, like, half an inch, or maybe an inch big. But they are that same, like, art style. But I still want them.
The caricature. Yeah. Very cute. Well, that is cool. And I guess I'll just have to now travel to Spain or Turkey or somewhere.
I think they have them in Indonesia too, so you can go there too.
Oh, I would love to go to Indonesia. It's always been on my bucket list to go to Bali.
There you go.
But anyway,
now you can make a trip just for McDonald's.
That's right. That would be dark. But where we left things off with friends in our last episode, we had Joey dating a girl who wouldn't stop punching him, Ross refusing to contribute to his handyman's retirement fund, and Chandler proposing to Monica just to apologize for his commitment issues. We also had Ross buying a couch, but refusing to pay the moving fee. Phoebe found a police badge and used it all around town. And Joey considered a new approach to dating after he saw how happy Monica and Chandler are together.
Yes. Well, with that, we all move on to the inadvertent kiss, the one with Rachel's inadvertent kiss, which is Friends Season 5, Episode 17. And in this one, Rachel gets her dream interview with Ralph Lauren and ends up kissing the hiring manager on accident. Ross has now moved into his new apartment and is doing window bits for the girls. And Phoebe is part of the hot new couple, and Monica can't stand it. Which one of these do you want to jump into first?
Well, I mean, the whole thing with Ross, like, getting so excited that he's across the apartments and he's, like, doing all of these bits to make them laugh. I mean, this is just ridiculous, Ross. This is... I don't know what to make of this whole segment. It's bad. They're like, oh, my favorite, I think, is when they're like, no, I think he's really just watching TV.
That is the best one.
They go over to Ross and said, no, he's not watching TV. He's just pretending because to him, that's funny. Oh, God. Wow.
He's putting on the watching TV bit. Yeah. Listen, I like the idea that in this episode, they really hammered home the fact that Ross is really close now. Ross is right next to her. Yes. And he, I think, is very excited about being that close to his friends as well. So, I mean, I get it. I think they overdo it, but it's not funny if you don't overdo it, I guess. And really what ends up coming from this storyline is Joey trying to chase down the hot girl. Mm-hmm. Joey finds the girl next door, and I love how they did this. With Joey going next door, not knowing how to count the windows, and goes to Ross's apartment instead. Then goes back over another time, goes to Ross's apartment. Then Monica shows him how to appropriately count the windows, because there's like lobby windows and basement windows. And so Joey does now do the appropriate math, goes to the right girl's apartment, and Ross opens the door because he had met her at the mailroom. And Joey just freaks out. It is a slow burn for Friends, but a really good payoff, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. The odds of Ross happening, he happened to meet the girl in the lobby, and then I guess she felt comfortable enough to have him just in her apartment and opening her door when someone's knocking on it. Even he was kind of like, okay, when she said, hey, can you get that? Because she was in the other room or something. And
yep.
Yeah, and then him opening the door to Joey was great. That's it. He's just like, I am losing it. I mean, that is something that Joey would do, and I love his line, I can't believe I almost lost another girl to counting.
How many girls has he lost to counting? I mean, it's at least 2 now.
I would have loved a montage of what that was like. Like, what happened there, Joey? How have we lost?
I also would have liked an opportunity for Joey to run into Ross with the hot girl at Central Perk.
Right.
I feel like that would have been cool.
I was thinking the same thing, and they never really played out what happened with this girl. That was just it in this episode. And it a little bit awkward because it's like, okay, so they got to know each other. She invited him over, and then we never heard from her
that was it.
again.
No, but there's plenty of like dates that happen throughout Friends where that's the case, where we see them start. Like, we never got the whole play out with Phoebe and the, health inspector guy either. Like, they dated for an episode and that was it.
Although you could see how that would have fizzled out because he was ruining all the good places for them to eat. So he needed to go.
True. But like, there are many examples of this throughout the series.
It's true. No, it's true.
Which is why I was still so bothered by like having to bring back Danny one more time just to write him off when you could have just easily walked away from it and called it a day. Instead, you gave us this episode with the craziest storyline in history just to drop Danny off at the side of the road. Like, we didn't need that.
Clearly, they wanted to tell that storyline.
Apparently so.
Yeah, and I feel like Ross, I mean, we've already talked about how Ross has the wildest dating track record of the whole group. Like, he definitely dates the most people. But I think that he also could get away with this where he just kind of dates someone for one episode and then they disappear. I think that happens a few times with Ross. Like, we just don't see the follow through.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Oh, and it's not just Ross either, is I guess my point. There are a number of others, but that's okay. Hot girl, it's nice knowing you.
Yeah.
What do you make of this storyline here with Phoebe and Gary and Chandler and Monica, where Phoebe and Gary are the new hot couple and Monica is just so competitive that she can't have Phoebe be the only new hot couple, and so she's got to force being the hot couple with Chandler in front of Phoebe as often as humanly possible.
I mean,
what do you think of this?
I think it highlights a couple things. Obviously, it reminds us that Monica and Chandler are now in a different phase of their relationship. So I think it's going to show that it's like, okay, they were running around and just like chasing after each other for a long time, but now they're developing on to the next stage, which I love how Chandler is the one who really points that out in the end of this whole segment, where he's like, hey, you're the one freaking out. I'm the one who is holding it down and like is the mature one in the relationship now, and having to talk you off this crazy ledge because Monica, I think, was just in her competitive nature, not putting all of that together. But what was disappointing to me is that it's like, as we've talked about, Phoebe hasn't really been in many, if any, long-term relationships. And you'd think that as a friend, Monica would just be really happy for her and just supportive. And instead, she uses it as an opportunity to like try to beat them in the relationship competition, whatever that is. I don't know. Very strange, funny, but just really awkward. Like, I don't think that this is actually a thing that would happen, but I mean,
it all depends, right? It all depends on who you are and what is important to you. And I think it showed real levels of maturity here from Chandler.
Right.
To show that he's very excited about just being part of this next phase, which he's never done before, ever.
Right.
And that certainly wins over Monica very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I think Monica is also excited about that, just kind of gets caught up in all of the recognizing that maybe they're not as energy focused as they were before.
Yeah.
Like things start to mellow out in a relationship as it goes. That's just how things typically go. And I think people don't necessarily realize that it's mellowed out until somebody points it out, maybe. And I think that's kind of what this might be.
Yes.
Or at least you recognize that Phoebe and Gary are off the chains, and you're not anymore. Maybe it's more that than anything else. Maybe it's not somebody pointing it out as much as it is like it's obvious when somebody else is in that phase of the relationship.
Yes.
I'm really happy also for Phoebe in this whole thing, because this is an opportunity to get like Phoebe dating somebody now outside of the scientist guy. You know?
David, yeah.
I don't know. Did he get 2 episodes? Mm-hmm. Did he get 2 episodes back then, or was it just the one? It might have just been the one.
David?
I think he's only had 1 episode. Yeah, David, so far.
Oh, no.
He'll have more.
David's been in multiple episodes because he was...
Date?
Because it was when they first met. Like, think when they first met, he, like, called her out when she was on stage in the coffee shop. But then he was on for a couple episodes because then there was the New Year's episode.
Wasn't that all the same episode?
Where he was having to say goodbye.
That was all the same episode.
I think it was the next episode, because at that point they had dated a few times. And
I don't think so, because he wasn't that the whole like breaking the pact of the New Year's relationship. Like, nobody's bringing a date to New Year's.
Oh.
And I think it all happened all at once. That's what I'm saying. I think whether it was 1 or 2, I'm pretty sure it was 1, but it felt like 2, because we know that David's going to be around again. We're rewatching this. Spoilers, by the way, for 30 years out. But, you know, David's coming back into the picture in the future. But I think he's only been in 1 episode so far. That being said,
so
this is like the first time we see Phoebe interact with somebody in an episode and then still be dating them in a following episode, at least on my count. And we're almost to the end of season 5.
Yeah. No, it's true. I'm just trying to look back really quick. It looks like I'm seeing that Hank Azaria, who played David, was in Friends about 5 episodes. Okay, so we had the one with the monk.
4 of them were all at the end.
Yeah, that might be the case, because the one with the monkey was that must have been the New Year's episode, because that's the first one on the list, and obviously that sounds like the oldest episode just from this description. Because then it says the one with the cheesecakes was the one after that, and we haven't gotten there yet.
That's what I'm saying. That's way down the line. No, that's way down the line.
You know what it is, Eric? It's because when I think of that one where they had to say goodbye, I remember she told him that she loved him.
It was very, very quick moving. But that's what I'm saying. Like, some Friends episodes mess with time differently than others. Yeah. And that episode was clearly over at least a week's worth of time.
Oh, you're right.
Even though it was all like a half hour.
No, you're right. That's what it was. They messed with the timeline a bit, because it was like she then had clearly gone to like his lab a few times, met his coworker, like a bunch of stuff transpired. So they had that's what it is. Yeah. It was just the one episode, but it like spanned, I guess, a larger period of time within the episode, which I don't feel like that happens too often.
No, and it was also a very Phoebe-centric episode.
Yeah.
Where despite all these other people coming in, it was really about Phoebe and scientist guy David.
Yeah. Nope, that's a good point. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm very happy to see Phoebe so excited to be with Gary, and Gary seems like a great fit so far. We know things take a turn very quickly, unfortunately, which is really kind of heartbreaking, but we will get there. We're not there yet. But as of right now, we have some...
Such an abrupt ending.
It is. I know. Because he actually kind of fits with the group well, too. I think that he adds this, like, other dynamic that is just very different, but also funny with the rest of the guys. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good... I mean, Gary fits with the group in a similar but different way to the way that Richard did.
Yes, right.
You know, like, he brings another element. He's not quite the same as the other guys, but he still meshes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you can see that with some guest stars very quickly and others a little bit less.
Yeah. Well,
But then we have Mr. Zellner and we have Rachel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Zellner and Rachel. My goodness. I mean, I'm very happy that Rachel has this new job opportunity. Great. But wow, Eric, if this played out in real life, no, there is no way in hell Rachel would have gotten this job. The fact that he even had to videotape her final visit to the office, wow. It's already spelling lawsuit and she hasn't even gotten hired, and then he's going to roll the dice on this girl. She came off as batshit crazy. Like, there's no way.
I mean, it was not a good look for Rachel. But I couldn't even think, as I'm watching this again, how does she get an interview the third time?
Did she just show up?
Like, I think it appears as though, like, Rachel has contacted them and, like, apologized and, you know, explain. This is all off camera. This is all not seen. I'm just, like, trying to connect dots. Where she realizes when when she goes back to the apartment and they all point to the lips, and she's like, oh, that's what it
That
was.
is the best part.
My bad.
Yeah.
That is. And she has to, at that point, the unwritten story is she's got to contact them, apologize, you know, 1,000,000 times over, and beg for another opportunity to come in. And Mr. Zellner has to say okay to that, which is bananas, unless her resume is so amazing that she's the obvious right candidate. And even in that sense, there's so many strikes here, it feels like not the right move. But that being said, we move on.
Yeah, I've been a hiring manager for some time, and just putting myself in the role of Mr. Zellner. No way. No way. Would you want to roll the dice on someone who's behaved this way so far? Because who knows what's to come? I mean, but yeah, that moment where she goes into the office and he's pointing to his lip, she doesn't realize she has ink on her lip, and then goes back home and they're all doing it when she's like freaking out to the friends, is so funny. I mean, the odds of that happening, wild, but yeah. I love that part. I think maybe he invited her back in because he wanted to, like, record just in case she decided to, like, sue, or I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of, because he, like you said, he had the videotape rolling when she came back in, and I don't know. I just question his judgment there, obviously. But I love her. I always love her line when she's like, well, of course you want to bring back the girl who kisses everybody.
I'll say this. Mr. Zellner is probably my favorite boss on the show. Of all the bosses. Like, that we see. We see a number of, like, managers from different people, and, like, he's way better than Joanna is. And I'm just talking about not, like, actually as a manager, but the scenes with the bosses are not always great to me. They're kind of okay, like, secondary. None of the bosses are standing out like a Janice or an Eddie or anything like that. You know, they all seem to kind of fall flat, except for Boss Man Bing. I love that guy.
Well,
he's good.
That's who I was just gonna say.
He's the one.
I feel like
he's like,
Chandler's
you
boss.
want to get smacked on the bottom too, don't you? You know, like that.
From Christmas Vacation.
He is from Christmas Vacation. He's high up on the list, but Mr. Zellner, I think, passes him up with starting at this scene and many of the future scenes where we have even Joey showing up being like, you want to buy my friend's baby? Like, these scenes with Mr. Zellner get kind of wild.
That is so fun. No, I was just thinking, I'm like, wait, when do we see him again?
Oh, we see him a few times. We see him a few times.
Yeah. Because we don't see this other woman, because I'm not really sure. I guess he's her boss, but this other woman who's in the next episode with all the smoking, she must just be like a project manager that she's just working with.
I think she is the more direct boss, and he oversees the like.
Okay,
that's how I.
Or something.
Like her department is her and the other girl with the smoker boss, and then Mr. Zellner is over all of them. That's how I have fictitiously created this Ralph Lauren branch in my head.
Although, so Eric, one thing that stood out to me with this storyline though was, because I know we've talked about these, like when something just out of the usual flow of Friends comes up or something that just sticks out. It's this retelling, when Rachel's retelling the story of the interview, there's like that rewind with the weird music that comes up, and she's explaining to the friends about how she initially kissed him when leaving the interview because there was this weird moment where he reached out with his hand and she kind of leaned in and just awkwardly like kissed him on the cheek to say goodbye. But it was just this really, I think that's happened once before where there's like this kind of clown music that comes on.
I know what you're saying. Like, and it's where they do like, they do a flashback, but not, and it's, But again, we have not seen this new information. It's just her telling the story, but it's obviously in the past. Yeah, I don't know. I can't place another time that I've heard that before, but it's funny how the little audio cues like that are nowhere. There's another one in... not one of the episodes we're going to talk about today, but one of the ones we're going to talk about later this week that I spent time researching. What is this from? And the answer is nothing. It's like stock music. Oh. And I was like, why would they put that there? Like, what is the point of that? We'll get there. That's, you know, hey, watch our next episode if you want to find out what that is. But anyway, this is, it's a little weird. It's a little like disjointing, right? Like when they do the weird stuff like that. Because to me, it takes my focus onto, well, what is that? Why are we doing that? Yeah. And she's just saying, I didn't know what else to do. Well, you could have tried not kissing him. Like that would have been it. If you had just not kissed him when he was opening the door, everything would have been fine. He would have been hired, and this storyline would not exist at all. But no. I do not want this job that bad. Good day, sir. You've got courage, integrity, courage again, and not litigious. No. Like, okay, Rachel, what are you saying right now? Like, just, you could have had a better, like, that speech was all laid out. You could have come up with like a better hammer home point than that. It was. No. Yeah, rough. That being said. Good thing you're cute, Rachel. That being said, it was funny. I'm not going to lie. Yeah. This scene is funny to me. And it's not realistic, but it is funny. No. Yeah. And by the way, I do like also the moment where they tie it in together where Joey goes, you just need a hug from Joey. And Joey walks over and gives her a big hug. And he's looking out the window and he sees Hot Girl out of the other apartment. He's like, oh, Hot Girl's back. And Rachel's like, no, I'm not all the way back yet. I'm just, and then he throws her down in the chair. He's like, no, Hot Girl's back. He just walks over.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
and then of course, Chandler, I got to go see about that hot girl. Oh, yeah. There she is.
There she is.
Pivots back to Monica really smoothly.
Like,
yeah. Way to go, guys. Way to go.
That, like, those little transition-y pieces. And like I said, my favorite things in Friends I've learned throughout doing this podcast are really not the lines that everybody thinks are the funniest lines. It's the cadence that they speak the lines in. That's what it is for me that gets me coming back every time.
I agree.
So now we're going to jump into season 5, episode 18 of Friends, which is the one where Rachel smokes. And this is the one where Ben is going to get his first commercial, but Joey also tags along for an opportunity. We have a surprise party being thrown for Rachel between Monica and Phoebe, where Phoebe is pretty much left in charge of cups and ice. And we have Rachel now going to work at her first Ralph Lauren gig, but realizing that she has to smoke to kind of fit in with the group. And as Chandler says, listen, you have to push through this because it's about to get so good.
Oh, gosh.
Now, as not a smoker, never smoked a cigarette in my life. Have had cigars, can say, but that's, celebratory. I don't know, like, the nicotine rush. Like, I don't get that. I know there are plenty of people out there where it's tough. It's hard to deal with.
Yeah.
But I understand Chandler's perspective just from people that I know who have dealt with it and talk about it. And, I do enjoy Rachel trying to say, listen, my dad used to show me pictures of all these horror stories about, whatever, but had the princess's right to smoke was okay. Well, I don't know how she tried to spin that to her boss. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Rachel.
Because she's starting to just say, like, listen, I would never smoke because my dad has shown me these photos of what happens to you when you smoke. But then she's looking at her boss's face as she's recounting this and realizing, oh, let me walk this back really quick. Yeah. But it's too late.
It's way too late. And then later in the episode, she goes down there and tries to smoke. It's like, oh, I thought you guys meant like marijuana cigarettes. Like, wow, you guys are crazy. And they're like, yeah, no, we get high. We're just kidding. And I'm like, Rachel, listen, you know these people not at all. You're trying to fit in. You can't just assume they do or don't do anything. You have
yes.
Like, read the room. Come on.
Yes. But I will say, as a former smoker, what Chandler is saying, unfortunately, is true. Where it's like, there is this moment where you start smoking and you're like, wow. And it's usually like as a teenager or something. And it's like, wow, this is really gross. But like, maybe I'll just like try it again and again. And then before you know it, oh, wow, it gets so good. And then you're stuck in this loop.
Then you're there. Yeah.
Then it's too late. So it's like, yeah, just stop. Hold on to that moment where you realize it's disgusting because it is disgusting. And the fact that her boss even looks at her questioning, like, wait, what are you saying? Everyone knows, like, the horrible things. I mean, I think they're getting away with this a bit because we're still in the late 90s here. This plot line would not play out now. Like, it wouldn't be a thing. I mean, although,
I bet they could play it out still today.
Yeah, I guess, but
there's plenty of people who are still smoking.
It's true. It would be vaping, I guess, now.
It would be vaping. Yeah, they would do it with vaping now. But it's still, I mean, cigarette sales aren't going down.
Oh, I think absolutely. Like, regular cigarette sales have definitely gone down. Yeah, I would argue for that. for sure. Without actually looking at the numbers, you just don't see it as much. Like when you're around, you just don't see as many people. To me, it's more jarring when you see someone just smoking just a cigarette. You just don't notice it. I don't know.
To be fair,
it was much more prevalent.
I'm saying all this. The last time I worked in like a corporate office, there were plenty of people taking smoke breaks. Vapes were not a thing.
No.
Okay. That
true.
wasn't a thing when I did that.
Yeah.
I now work at an elementary school.
Yeah.
The amount of smoking that I see is zero.
Yeah, that's a good point.
School,
it's like
but still.
Nicotine addiction, I feel like, is probably just as high, but actual cigarette sales, I bet, have gone down.
Can I say that there have been kids suspended from my school because of vaping? Absolutely. But I think that goes for literally every high school / middle school / elementary school in I don't know, in America at this point.
Yeah.
Like it feels like it. But yeah, you're right. They would do this story with not smoking but vaping.
Cigarettes. Yeah.
And I would still admit, like, the reason I say cigarette sales aren't going down, I still see all the boxes of them at the store.
It's true.
They're restocking them. Someone's buying them.
It's true.
And I would argue to bet. I would argue, not argue to bet. That's weird. I would argue to say people in our generation or older might still be just using cigarettes. It's the young kids that are like, oh, this isn't even a cigarette. It's just like nothing. No, still the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, either way, this is a really tough position for Rachel to be in because her boss is going outside with this other girl who smokes, and they're making all these decisions. They're planning trips to go to Paris, and she's just kind of hanging on and trying to not get left behind here. So trying to join them, pretend that she's a smoker. It's just not working out.
For all intents and purposes, too, this is a department of 3 people.
Yeah.
Now, Rachel, this is what I would say, too. Do you think that she's going to take you on the Paris trip? You have been there for a day.
Yeah.
Right? This other girl has been there for at least an amount of time that is longer than you.
Yeah.
You also barely got hired. Let's just call it what it is. Okay. You're not going on this trip.
No.
You got to earn your way to the trip. Now, I understand that you might have to smoke to do that, or at least it gives that appearance now, but I genuinely don't believe that's the case. I believe that you could not go on the smoke breaks, work your butt off on the inside, and all of a sudden, just get promotions and things like that and blow these two out of the water.
I agree. Considering how the interview went, I think, Rachel, you need to be laying low for a little bit and just working on what you can work and do a good job. Like, let's not be getting crazy, but that wouldn't make it as funny as it is. So I do appreciate her line. It's like I'm being punished for not having this disgusting, horrible habit. And Chandler, yeah, it's the best, isn't it?
I do think Chandler represents a lot of people. Like, I totally get, as someone who's never done it, I totally find his smoking lines very funny, usually, all the time. Well, listen, I find Chandler funny all the time for everything. So
me too, especially at the end where he just sneaks out onto the roof and literally puffs on her boss's cigarette, like over her shoulder. Oh my gosh, Chandler. Wow. So funny.
That is an awkward moment. Random guy just shows up. I was just looking to take Rachel out for work. No way was he coming to take Rachel out for lunch. He was here for the cigarettes.
No. Chandler's just looking for any excuse to smoke because we do see him falling back into that habit, which I think also Matthew Perry probably embraced that part of the character where he's like, I can relate to this too. It's like,
for sure.
Yeah. So he always had that element of addiction in his character, even in those small ways that you just didn't see show up for the others. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, 100%. Now, let's talk about the surprise party. I feel like that's the smallest of the storylines here. We kind of jumped into what I think the biggest one is.
Yeah.
But the surprise party is very random.
Yes.
Like, they decide they're going to throw a surprise party, and all this does to me is showcase that Monica wants to take control of things, which we already know. Phoebe is going to do something eccentric, which we already know. And
they forget about
that's
Chandler.
about it. And they forget about Chandler. Right.
Which
also
is
the funniest, like, hammer home, like, line of this when Rachel shows up to the surprise party and she's like, wow, like, Chandler's birthday is before mine. And they're all like, surprise.
And he's just standing there in silence in the distance. It's like, oh man, poor Chandler. That just always reminds me of that line in another episode. Does anybody know me?
Yeah, exactly. This almost feels like it was written just for that walk-off line.
I know.
To, like, leave Chandler in the lurch. Otherwise, I mean, it's just kind of hammering home character traits that we already know about these characters. Like, there wasn't anything kind of new and interesting. I do really like the way that they made Cups and Ice, like, eccentric. Like, I think that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
That Phoebe did, like, banners and, like, all these streams, and she had every variety of ice you could possibly have, including dry ice and stuff. Like, that was very cool.
She will rue the day that she put me in charge of Cups and Ice.
Yeah, had, like, snow cones going, and, like, that's, it's a very Phoebe tactic. That's because nobody else, I don't even know what Monica brought to that party. I mean, she had, like, Italian finger foods or something like that, but nobody was eating them because everybody was, jamming out to snow cones.
This is so weird. I was in charge of Cups and Ice. Okay, a little bit less weird.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton to say about that storyline.
No, because
that's about it.
Then we have little Ben getting the audition and Joey being so mad about this. Oh my goodness. Joey is just beside himself because apparently he's been hanging out at this park on the swings. What am I doing wrong here? That
is my favorite part of this whole thing. When Joey's like, well, I'm always on the swings. What am I doing wrong? It's like that is the thing. Adult male at a park on the swings, that's the problem.
I mean, way to go, Ben. My. He does not do a good job of covering it up. I also really like the line when they're waiting with little Ben and Carol's there for the audition, and Carol's asking, is it a good sign that they ask us to stick around after the audition? And Joey's like, I don't know, because this doesn't normally happen for Joey.
I don't know.
Joey. No.
Well, if it's never happened before and you've never gotten any of the jobs, like, this feels like a better move.
Yeah.
That being said, I'll say this real quick about Carol. Love the fact that Carol is present again.
Yes.
And this, I have to actually go back now.
Okay.
I have to actually reference our last episode a little bit as well, because there were pieces that were cut out of this episode and also the last episode.
Oh, okay.
Like moments that I vividly remember. Like at the audition, Ross is like when they find out Ben gets to the finals, right? Yes. He's like, bye-bye. See ya, like, losers, and you see in that frame Carol stand up, and then it, like, cuts. Like, you see her in the background stand up, and that's when she says something along the lines of, I'm not married to him, I'm a lesbian, or something like that.
She's like, this guy is not with me.
This guy is not with me. He's just the dad.
Oh, Ross. Yeah.
They cut that line out first time, but it literally is about 2 seconds long. And I have to go back in the previous one. There were 2 scenes that I remember vividly being cut out. And one of them, because we talk about them all the time, and that is one where Rachel gets the interview for
Ralph Lauren.
Ralph Lauren, and Monica comes out and says something like, hey, the guy from Ralph Lauren called, you got a second interview. And she responds like, well, that wasn't very funny, but she's not really talking to Monica or something like that. She's talking to somebody else. Oh, or is that, she says, that's not funny because she thinks she blew it. Yeah. And Monica then goes, the guy from Ralph Lauren called, you got a second interview.
Oh.
And she's like, oh my God, are you serious? And they cut that out.
I don't remember that at all. Okay.
And I can't tell you how many times my wife and I will do that over and like that little dance. Why? I don't know. But again, it's just the cadence of it.
Yeah.
And you can see cutting that out doesn't change the story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The same way that also in that episode, when Monica goes into the men's bathroom, there's a scene where Chandler's like, listen, I don't want to like ruin the guy who's in the next stall's, hopes here. And then he comes out of the stall and walks out of the bathroom.
Yes.
'Cause Monica wants to like do stuff in the bathroom.
Yes.
And it's like, yeah. So, but again, there's just these little
moments
that they make from the original episode.
They pare it down.
That are big laughs.
Yeah.
But they cut them out because of TBS time or streaming time or whatever it is. I don't know why. I don't know why streaming doesn't have a full episode.
I agree. It's very odd. And we'd love to hear from you guys too. Like, are there moments in these episodes where you really miss them and you're wondering, hey, where did that time go? Like, why did they cut it out? Are there favorite moments?
That cutout with Monica is super high on my list of things I wish they kept in.
Oh, man.
That being said, I have to go back. I'm glad I remember.
Yes.
From this because, again, I'm glad that they brought Carol back. I always like seeing Carol. People seem to hate Carol. I like Carol.
Yeah.
I'm glad they bring her back every season. You should see
I think it's important
Carol and Ross co-parenting. It's important that she's there. Not every episode, but once or twice a season, just to remember this is a thing. The only thing that I will say, and I don't hold any ill will against this kid, but like they needed to recast the kid. Like they recast him coming forward here from the kid who was in Big Daddy, and I forget his name, and I will learn it.
So cute.
But he is so good. And I know he's probably too young at this point in time, but this kid is only in like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And he's in this one. And I do like the line where Ross is sitting there. And he's like, Joey's like, well, maybe I could be his dad. He's like, you can't be his dad. Like, you don't look anything like him. He's like, I look more like him than you do. And I'm like, you're probably right, Joey.
Yeah.
Like, because Joey had that kind of hair at one point. Like, yeah.
That kid's haircut is brutal. That bowl cut is something. Oh my gosh.
Is rough. And that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
That is hard to look at.
Yeah. Yeah. Noodle soup. That kid. The kid who was doing the audition.
Come on.
He was so funny. That little kid was like, are you kidding me? Looking at Joey. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. And they end up casting that kid anyway.
Well,
because there was down to 4 and they were like, well, it's either going to be you two or you two. And it wasn't Joey and it wasn't Ben either.
Yeah.
So much for that.
But man, Joey started acting like a big baby himself, trying to tell Ross that, listen, little Ben should step aside and let the real actors shine. It's like, Joey, if you really had the chops, you wouldn't need to be having this conversation with Ross. This is awkward. But I appreciate when Chandler is hearing this and just sees himself out. He's like, and I'm going to walk out now. He's like, Chandler, you agree with me, right? He's like, oh, hold on. I hear someone at the door. Then just opens the door. Hi, no one. And he leaves.
That is fun. That is a nice little way to just get yourself out of any situation. Oh, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to get the door here. Yeah, when it comes to Joey asking Ben to step aside, I mean, not asking Ben, but asking Ross to ask Ben to step aside. It's like, Joey, you guys aren't even up for the same part.
No. No.
Like, you're just hoping that if Ben steps aside, that means that the other guy is automatically eliminated and you get the job, when that's clearly not how it went anyway. Neither of you got it. So just do the best you can, okay? You get out there and eat some real soup.
Well, and
soup. Done.
And Ross tries
Job
to convince
hired.
him, hey, maybe subconsciously, you lost me. Okay, maybe on some level, right? You just really wanted Ben to get this part. And it's like, no, he clearly was not of that mindset. But
He's
sure.
like, oh, maybe. Mm-hmm. He's like, so did Ben get the part? No. What are you going to do?
I don't know if...
It doesn't feel that bad about
I don't know if all of them always tried to convince Joey that he should just stick with acting is really the move here. I almost feel like at some points we should just be having that tough talk with Joey. Maybe get a different job, because I don't know how he's surviving.
Well, I mean, we see Joey get part-time work doing A, B, and C, all sorts of little things. So... like, listen, whether or not he's spraying cologne or getting Christmas trees or whatever, he's doing something. So at least he's subsidizing.
He was Dr. Drake Ramore, and he wants to be in medical acting.
And listen, and we all know that Chandler's covering the bills. So
that's true.
It's all good. Now we're going to jump into our IMDb segment of our podcast where we are rating these episodes against IMDb, and all of you at home, we are also going to give you our favorite and least favorite characters from these two episodes. So, Amanda, I'll have you start off.
Yes.
You wanted to go with favorite or least favorite first?
So for my favorite for these two episodes, I'm going to go with Rachel, because I feel like these were really Rachel-centric episodes. We had the interview, we had the smoking. I just really, especially with her whole, the Mr. Zellner going back and forth with him was really funny. So I went with Rachel as my favorite.
Okay, hold on. Before you move on.
Yes.
I have had Rachel as my least favorite character at least two in a row.
Yeah.
And I also put her down as my favorite character this time.
Okay. Yeah. Making a comeback
here. Now, I will
say,
big comeback in these two episodes. I will say I feel like the drop off, like the gap between favorite and least favorite this time was minimal.
Yeah.
Like, I think they all were very, like, good. Nobody was great.
Yeah.
Nobody was bad. Like, they all had things going on. It's very well balanced, I think, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because when I look at these two episodes, usually there's somebody that kind of, like, gets forgotten. And nobody got forgotten. Yeah. Everybody had stuff that they were doing. I really like the balance of characters throughout these two. Whether or not they were my favorite episodes, but they balanced the characters well. Everybody got good jokes in, so I'll leave it at that. So I also have Rachel as my favorite. I'll give you my least favorite.
Okay.
I went with Joey.
Okay.
I don't have great reasons for going with Joey. I thought he had good moments. I liked the hot girl storyline. I think like he had a lot going on with the commercial with Ben.
Yes.
But like
just not as likable in these. I think he was less likable.
A little bit, maybe. But like I like what Ross did a little bit better. Phoebe and the Cups and the being the hot new couple. She could have almost been my favorite. Chandler's the only one who didn't have like a storyline going, but the amount of hits that he had throughout was really good. I guess he was subsequently part of the hot new couple storyline, but he wasn't really. He was like third banana in that storyline.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of had something else that was going on that felt a little bit more either meaningful or their jokes just hit a little better. So I went with Joey.
I went with Ross for these because just the whole part where he's doing all the bits across the way was weird. I'm like, and that one, and then with the audition too, like I think the actual audition itself is really funny where Joey keeps messing up the line, but that whole part just feels very awkward to me, and it's very like it kind of makes Joey. That's why I guess I said like Joey just seemed a little bit less likable, but I don't know, the way that Ross also was holding himself in that part just seemed, I don't know, it just wasn't my favorite from Ross, so I went with Ross here.
I'll say it was down to those two, and I don't hate the window bits I think as much as you do. I kind of find that funny. I especially like where at the end the girls got like the Pamela Anderson and Yasmin Bleeth like cutouts with their faces on.
Just so they can leave the apartment, but Ross still believes it's them laughing at him. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. I
will say, now that we've had an angle from Ross's apartment too, we've argued this back and forth. The apartments do seem very close.
Yes, I agree.
It seems farther from Rachel and Monica's side. But from Ross's perspective, out his window, I felt like it looked a little closer. And maybe I've just not recognized it as much from the girls' apartment. But it still is farther than that poking device would have ever reached. Well, but it appears that there's maybe only one lane of street in between them, or an alley.
This is what I'm picturing, is there's just like an alleyway between these two buildings.
I think it has
and
to be.
The street, like where we saw, like where the episode where they're leaning over the balcony and they're seeing Chandler catching up with the other girl. I think they're looking then across the street, like to the other side, like on the actual road, right? So I'm picturing the front of the buildings, there's actual traffic, and then between the buildings there's just like an alley, so that's what I imagine at this point.
To me, I always, because they were looking one way and then they pivoted to another way, I kind of felt like this was like a intersection of sorts, but maybe it's not really, maybe either way. I think we may be hammering it down here. It's more of an alleyway in between than a full street, but they also show like that outside building and it looks like a street coming. Anyway, it's not as far as it looks. So how about ratings? Which of these two was the favorite episode? And I will say there's not a whole lot in it for me here. Like the difference. They're close.
So as far as season 5 goes, because I have some that I rated really high here. These are still good, but they're on the lower side. But I liked the one with Rachel's inadvertent kiss more. I gave that one an 8.
Oh, you're much harsher on these than I am.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Because I did go into the 7s for the other one. I gave the one where Rachel smokes, I did that one as a 7.7.
That seems wild.
I just really the more that the TV commercial, the audition, I really just I don't like that. I don't know. It just doesn't land right for me. And even the whole thing with Rachel having to smoke to like impress her boss is weird, and the surprise party. It just really wasn't my favorite. As far as like season 5 episodes go too, I think maybe it's because it's like I'm holding it up to the last one and also what's to come. So later in the week, guys, when we talk about the next two, I love those significantly.
I would like to point out that you also rated the one with the inappropriate sister a 7.7.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Do you feel like that's still like they're about the same? Just out of curiosity.
I actually might like the inappropriate sister a little bit more.
Ah, there you go. 7.75 over there. Okay. I see. I don't hate. To me, to get into the sevens, somebody's got to do something wrong. These do not appear as though anybody's against character type or has really gone out of the way. But at the same time, nothing stands out from them to make me really want to jump up into the upper nines here. So I gave the Inadvertent Kiss an 8.4. That's about as high as I could possibly go. And the one where Rachel smokes an 8.2. Low eights, feels like a fine episode, but nothing that jumps out at
That's
you
fair.
that you're real excited about. The one with the Inadvertent Kiss, it's the scenes with Rachel and Mr. Zellner that really carry that. And the idea that Chandler and Monica's story is developing farther gets it into that like mid-8 range for me. Okay, but let's see what the fans think.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Be very curious because these can't be in the 9s. They can't.
No.
They can't.
No. Nope.
I mean, I don't know. I will have serious judgment issues with all of you. Okay. Interesting numbers here.
Okay.
So we agree with the people. The one with the inadvertent kiss, with Rachel's inadvertent kiss. I keep saying but it's Rachel's inadvertent kiss. That is the better of the two episodes. Okay. I gave it an 8.4. You gave it an 8. The people have rated it an 8.3.
Okay, right. Oh, closer to you. Yeah.
Closer to me. I honestly almost went with an 8.3, but I felt like it was a little bit better than that. That being said, the one where Rachel smokes, I give an 8.2. You gave a 7.7. The fans have given it a 7.7.
Wow, really?
Fans also didn't like it. I clearly just liked it a little bit more than everybody else, I guess. Hey. I thought it was fine.
And that's okay, Eric.
I know. But I agree with your premise, which is these storylines are just weird. Like they are not great storylines. The surprise party is virtually about nothing. Yeah. There's nothing happening here. It's a surprise party for Rachel.
And you don't even really see the party. Like Rachel just sort of arrives and that's it.
And you also you get this one scene where Phoebe is like mad at Monica. And that's it. That's all that ever happens there. So you get that. That's kind of weird. Rachel connecting with the boss smoking. I actually kind of found that to be very honest.
Yeah. And
then the commercial, I don't know. That felt fine, but I understand. I understand what you're saying. People don't like it. Whatever. Yeah. You're all wrong. I'm right.
Sorry, Ben. It's little Ben. I blame him.
I will blame little Ben too. You know what? Let's all put the blame on little Ben's weird haircut. Well, thank you guys for listening so much to the We Run on Reruns podcast. Please check us out on our socials, our Instagram and TikTok, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, you can check out all of these podcasts in full at werunonreruns.com, not to mention Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as your other favorite podcast players. For Amanda, this is Eric. Enjoy watching Friends episodes 19 and 20 of Season 5 this week. Happy rerunning, everybody.
See you later, guys.